When we left off the last time, Aileen Wuornos was only after committing her first known murder in December 1989 when she unalived Richard Mallory. Remember, the 50-odd-year-old electronic shop owner? But I tell yous lads, that's only the beginning. Over the next year, she would definitely go out of her way to leave her mark in Florida, turning it into the hunting ground for one of the most notorious killing sprees in American history. What's the crack? Welcome back to Midweek Murders with Maggie, Aileen Wuornos, part 2. Lads, we're just going to jump straight into the murders because I can't cope. Murder number 2. We have David Spears. David is a 43-year-old construction worker. He was last seen on June the 1st, and his body was discovered in Citrus County a few days later. Well, if Dirty Dick wasn't found wearing only a hat lying beside the used Johnny. He was after being shot 6 times. A couple of days after that then, his truck was found abandoned with flat tyres, his tools and all his belongings and all stolen, knocked and pawned on. Just a few days after that, there's another one, murder number 3. Charles Clarkson is found on June the 4th in a field with tall grass covered with an electric blanket. Electric blanket in June in Florida, right blue balls. He was last seen on the 31st of May, taking his Cadillac for a rip around Tampa. The day his body was discovered, on the 4th of June, witnesses reported seeing Aileen and her partner Tyria driving around in his Cadillac in Daytona Beach. They pawned his gun and all the possessions that was in his car. On Independence Day, Aileen and Tyria were spotted driving a grey Sunbird near Orange Springs. When they take into each other in the front of the motor, they plucked, carried on that bad that they slapped into a tree, drawing the attention of Hawkeye Rhonda Bailey. Rhonda notices the 2 girlos doing the bolt from the scene, watching them, taking the number plate, like the license plate, with them. The police traced the car back to 65-year-old Peter Siems from Jupiter, Florida. Now, Peter's wife and children was in Europe when he was off gallivanting up north to visit his mummy in New Jersey and was supposed to be meeting his church group in Alabama, but he never arrived. His body was never found, like still to this day, no one knows where his body is. Inside the wrecked car, investigators discover broken glass and a bloody handprint belonging to Aileen Wuornos. Is she not taken? Murder number 5. I hear, lads, you can always count on your boss to notice you're on the missing. At the end of July, 50-year-old delivery driver Tory Burrs was reported missing by his boss when he didn't show up for work. On August 4th, his body was discovered a few miles from his abandoned truck. Now here, the truck was searched, right? And the only things missing was his delivery receipts and the cash that he had on him. But everything else was left behind. Murder number 6. In September, Charles Dick Humphreys, a 56-year-old retired police chief, was reported missing by his family. Days later, 2 wee boys stumbled upon his body in a field. He was shot 7 times. Now, the shades noticed his pockets was turned inside out. That could have been the 2 Colliers or it could have been the Garlows, you'd never really know. Obviously, that suggested he was robbed. His car was later found abandoned about 50 miles away behind a rundown gas station, like a petrol station. Right, murder number 7. By November, the killings continued. A truck driver from Montgomery, Alabama, named Walter Antonio, was found naked and shot 4 times in a field in Dixie County. His car was discovered days later in Bearview County. By now, the investigators were connecting the dots. The murders bore striking similarities. Middle-aged men, robbed, shot multiple times, and their vehicles abandoned. And thanks to Hawkeye Rhonda Bailey's eyewitness account, the police had descriptions of the two women. Their faces were soon plastered all over Florida. Like, I mean to say, lads, on the news, newspapers, billboards, the lot. As the heat closed in, Tyria Moore up and does the belt back to Philadelphia, leaving Aileen alone in Florida. For Aileen, Tyria had been the only stable relationship in her life. Then she was on her own. In December, Eileen's still floating about Florida, on the drink heavily, bouncing around bars. And at Wet Willie's, she bumped into a fella called Dick Mills. They spend a few weeks together, well, Eileen's last Christmas as a free woman together. And he'll tell you why.
We're two lonely, desperate people in a bad situation.
And honestly, he's the ringer of your wine, Tyria. He even says it himself. That's why she probably didn't kill him.
Maybe one possibility. I don't know what this other woman looked like, but I might have resembled her.
By January 91, police were closing in. Aileen is at one of her regular spots, the Last Resort Bar in Volusia County. That place is still on the go to this day. Sure, wasn't I in it myself? Anyways, two undercover detectives were in the bar and they befriend Aileen and eventually get her outside to smoke a fag. That's when a load of officers swarm her and arrest her on the spot. And of course, the arrest makes national headlines. Eileen's up and dragged into the interrogation room, right? And she's claiming self-defense. She's wedding nothing, insisting she only killed to protect herself from violent men. But investigators, they needed more, didn't they? So they turned to Tyria Moore, offering her full immunity. Now, that means every time Tyria was spinning around in the cars or seen in the pawn shops with Aileen, she's not going to be charged with that. The police ask her to help them secure a confession out of Aileen. Oh, and of course, Tyria agrees. So, from Philadelphia, the Tyria one, crying eyes, starts making recorded phone calls to the jail to Aileen. Just listen.
Mama's been calling me all the time. She doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Okay. What you gotta do, okay? Alrighty.
What?
I'm not gonna let you go to jail.
I don't know whether I should keep on living or if I should...
No, Ty, listen.
What if they don't believe me?
Tyra, listen.
What?
I'm not gonna let you go to jail or anything. Listen, if I have to confess, I will.
Okay.
See the Tyria one? She was the only person that Aileen had ever truly loved and felt loved by. And honestly, in the end, I think Aileen confessed because she probably didn't want to see Tyria facing old Sparky just like her. Hey, lads, there's a favour. If you're enjoying it, like, comment, share and subscribe. And in the next episode, we're going to cover the trial of Aileen Wuornos, the media frenzy that surrounded her, and the final days leading up to her execution. Oh, and her final adoption as well, on Midweek Murders with Maggie. And Dana, God, will you try and mind yourself until next Wednesday at 8 o'clock?